Hey everyone, today I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't sell right now. I know that the market is going way down and there's a lot of panic and there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unknown. But in this video, I want to go over why you shouldn't sell and you shouldn't panic. First thing I want to say is don't just listen to me. I'm not a financial advisor. Please go talk to your financial advisor. This is not financial advice as much as it is just my opinion. So you definitely need to talk to a financial advisor. In this video, I'm going to break down first kind of the perspective, how to look at this and how maybe we are currently looking at this incorrectly or maybe another way to look at this. Then I'm going to talk about the reasons why you shouldn't sell based on that perspective shift. And lastly, there are a couple of scenarios where it might be a good idea to sell. At the end of this video, I will go through those. So let's get started. Hey everyone, this is Lauren Mack with Hacking the Rat Race, and I would love for you to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos on money, saving, and investing. So the first thing I want to do is look at this from a different perspective. I think looking at this from this perspective will help you get some clarity and understand why you probably shouldn't sell. And again, before you sell or you decide not to sell, if this is weighing on you, I definitely recommend you talking to your financial advisor. But here's my perspective. Oftentimes, people look at their investment account like a bank account, like they are one and the same, which is why so much panic happens when the stock market starts going down. So for a bank account, let's just talk about that for a second. So for your regular bank account, any day when you check your bank account, that is how much money you actually have in that bank account, how much money has gone in, out, total number, that is the value of your bank account and how much money is actually in there. Okay, now an investment account is different. It looks the same, right? Because you open it up and you see a dollar amount. And when it goes up, you're excited. And when it goes down, you're bummed. And when it goes way down, people panic. But here's the thing. It's not the same as your bank account at all. And so I want to give you another perspective and the way to look at this. I want to compare it to a house, a property, right? Because it is actually a lot more like a property than it is like a bank account. And let me show you what I mean. So if you bought a house for $150,000, let's just say the house that you're living in, right? A lot of people buy houses. Let's just say 3 years later, the market just jumps up and now your house is worth $250,000. And then let's say 4 years later, something happens and the market goes down and your house is worth $50,000. A lot of us don't even really think about it. I mean, sometimes we're like looking in the paper, we see that values are going up or down, and it shows some concern, but you're living in that house, right? It's your house. And if that house is worth $250 tomorrow or $50,000 the next day, that's not actually how much money you have. You still have a house. That is the value of that house, right? And until you actually need or want to sell that house, that's the only time that value really matters. So if you go look at your investment account, right? And over time, you have purchased shares, either shares of stocks, shares of index funds, whatever it is, you've purchased shares. When you're looking at your investment account, you're looking at the shares that you've purchased. And if you've purchased them over time, like you put a little bit of money every month into your investment account, then that maybe one day you bought a share at $50, one day you bought a share at $100, one day you bought it at $75, whatever it is, you have X amount of shares, right? Similar to the house. So you have a house and you have shares. It is very similar in that way. The only difference is your shares are generally reflected with an overall dollar amount, which looks like a bank account. Okay, so if you look at your overall shares, let's just say for easy numbers, 3 years ago, it was worth $1,000, right? And maybe last year, maybe even a couple months ago, when we were hitting record highs, maybe it went up to $1,500, whatever it was, right? It went up. Again, that is the value of it. So yes, you would calculate that to your net worth, but that's not technically how much money that you have. That's just the value of those shares. Well, the same thing is true now. Whenever they go way down, you still have the same number of shares. They're just valued at a different amount. Again, this smaller amount in your investment account isn't technically how much money you have, it is technically the value of your shares. You still have those shares just like you would still have a house or the property that you purchased, correct? However, If you go and sell those shares, that is how much money you actually have, right? That turns it into real cash like a bank account. However, if you just hold on to those shares, you still have one share, and as they go up, those shares will go up, and as they go down, the shares will go down. Again, this isn't true cash until you sell, which is why you shouldn't sell. If you have your house that you purchased and you're living in, and you have no need to move, then you're not going to be stressed out at the value over time until it's time to move. And again, if you're in your 20s, 30s, even 40s, I would even say if if you're not looking at retiring in the next few years, then think of this like your house. You don't have to sell. You shouldn't sell. You should keep it because the value of each one of those shares that you've purchased, that you still own, that you currently still have the same amount of if you don't sell, will go back up. And if you look historically over time at the stock market, you can see it goes up, 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 and sometimes it goes way down. After it goes down, you generally see, if you're looking at this, over time, there is a great period of recovery. So for each one of those shares, if you thought about each one of those shares in your account and you kind of looked at this graph over time, yes, sometimes they are going to be very low. Sometimes they are going to be crazy high. But again, you should be investing for the long term, so these short-term downturns shouldn't scare you. In fact, if you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, really, this can be a great time to buy. This is where wealth can be created. And I know things are scary, and I know these are hard times, and hard times for a lot of people, and I do not take that lightly. Oftentimes, I hear people say, gosh, if I would have just invested more in 2008, 2009, I really wish I would have invested. I could have made so much more money. That is true. But here's the thing, in 2008 and 2009, when everything was falling, everyone was panicking then, it is just like it is now. It's easy to look back on that time, especially during high times when everything is rosy and great, to think, I wish. But now, if you kind of look at the perspective, look that you have these shares, we are going to get past this. We are going to get through this. This is very similar to that 2008, 2009, when it is actually time to invest. So I recommend, talking to your financial advisor, number one, taking a deep breath. You have not lost your shares. Those shares have gone down in value, but they will go back up. And generally after they fall really far, over time, maybe it'll be 6 months, maybe it'll be a year, no one knows. But you can look historically at the stock market. They will surge and they will go back up. So that's why I think you shouldn't sell right now. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, there are cases when you should sell. And the case when you should sell is if you were invested in an individual stock of a company, and that company, if you know that company is definitely going to fail or is failing and they don't have the reserves to weather this, and sadly, there will be companies that will go bankrupt, that will fail. So if you have their stock and you know that they are going to fail or failing, like it's imminent, then that is a time when I would recommend selling. Again, talk to your financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. But the one thing that can hurt people during a time like this is if you have a stock that you've invested in and it's going down, the company's going down, if you just hang on thinking, I've already invested so much in this, I can't let it go. Sometimes that will result in losses. And that's why when I'm normally talking about investing, I love investing in index funds or mutual funds, something like that. It just lowers your risk significantly because you're investing in a group of stocks versus one stock. Talk to your financial advisor, because if the company's doing okay and the stock's just going down like many are right now, then you may not need to sell. But again, if you are investing in a company that is going bankrupt, then you might want to sell. Again, talk to your financial advisor first, but I would just like to reiterate, if you're thinking about investing at this time or maybe investing more money, which I do highly recommend, I would look at doing something more like index funds, or if you are just stuck on buying shares of stock, just make sure you know the company really well. Make sure you've done your research. Make sure you understand the company. Make sure you understand their liquidity. Make sure you understand that they have enough money to ride out storms like this. I often see people do things like, oh my gosh, this is a pretty decent sized company and their stock is down 90%. I'm going all in. I'm investing all my money in this stock. I'm going to get rich. But then what happens? They go bankrupt and then you lose all your money. That's not the case all the time, but if you don't research and you're literally looking at how much the stock has dropped, you're not researching the company, you're not looking at how much reserves they have, you're not doing all your due diligence, you're literally just looking at maybe the size of a company and then the amount the stock has dropped, that is not always a great strategy and can result in large losses. So I just caution you with that. And I just caution you on selling. If you're in things like index funds, mutual funds, talk to your advisor. However, if you are investing in a single company stock and they're likely to go bankrupt, that is the one exception that I would say sell. And again, like I've said over and over, please talk to your financial advisor and do not panic sell. If you panic sell, then you have an actual loss versus a declined value in the share that you own. There is a big difference. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And I would love it if you could hit the like button. It literally costs nothing. It could push this video out to help so many other people, and it does so much for this channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any other videos on money, saving, and investing. And I will see you in the next video.